Gay people across America just got a huge win, and Mike Pence just got a huge aneurysm. The Supreme Court has ruled that people cannot be discriminated against at work simply because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. And the reason is because they are protected by the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And you gotta admit, that is one badass law to still be helping more groups get equal rights. I mean, we have to buy a new iPhone every 2 years, but somehow this act is rolling out new features 56 years later. And obviously, this should all be basic decency, right? Nobody should be fired just for being gay. I mean, the only reason you should be fired is if you're doing your job poorly, or if you're doing your job so well that you make the rest of us look bad. I mean, then you also need to go. Now, Trump's orders today were a little confusing because he signed an executive order that would make modest changes. For instance, it would introduce a database that would track police misconduct. But then there's also a new thing that would encourage police departments not to use chokeholds, saying that the chokeholds should not be used unless an officer felt like his life was in danger, which means the thing can be used, but it can't be used, but it can be used. And also when Trump came out to make these remarks, it just felt like his heart wasn't in it.
Americans want law and order. They demand law and order. They may not say it. They may not be talking about it, but that's what they want. Some of them don't even know that's what they want, but that's what they want. We will have reform without undermining our many great and extremely talented law enforcement officers.
You know, Donald Trump is always constantly downplaying the number of bad cops. But I mean, if bad cops was a minor problem, you wouldn't have huge protests in every city. You'd just be able to point at the bad cop and be like, hey, Gary, cut that shit out.
Parts of Beijing under lockdown again. Officials there calling it wartime mode. Schools closed, transport in and out of the city shut down. There are now more than 100 coronavirus cases linked to Beijing's Xinfadi wholesale market. Health officials scrambling to quickly contact trace, testing an estimated 200,000 people, from market workers to recent visitors. Near the area, images seen of hundreds of military police deployed to freeze the flow of people.
Okay, wait a minute. China is shutting down Beijing because of 100 cases? Either China takes this way more seriously than everyone else, or there's something they're not telling us again. Now look, China, I know it's embarrassing to have more corona, especially when everyone in the world is blaming you for this thing. But you need to be honest with us about what's happening, because you saw what secrets did the last time. 1 minute, it was a few cases in Wuhan. The next thing you know, we were all making face masks out of our roommates' underwear. It's not a surprise that there's a lot of stuff that Trump doesn't know. But don't let that fool you into thinking that he doesn't know what he's doing. Because in the book, Bolton also reveals how one shocking moment from Trump's presidency was actually a carefully thought out plan.
In November of 2018, Trump came under fire for writing an unfettered defense of the Saudi crown prince, littered with exclamation points over the killing of the Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. But according to Bolton's book, the main goal of the missive was to take away attention from a story about Ivanka Trump using her personal email for government business. And here's the quote. "This will divert from Ivanka," Trump said, according to the book. "If I read the statement in person, that will take over the Ivanka thing."
That's right. Bolton says that Trump chose to personally defend Saudi Arabia's dictator over the murder of a journalist just to take attention away from Ivanka using a private email account for government business. And I'm sorry, but that's like lighting yourself on fire to distract from the fact that you farted. I mean, I get why Trump wanted to distract from Ivanka using a private email, aka pulling a Hillary Clinton. But if you just want to distract the media, there are way less horrifying ways to do it. You know, like maybe streak across the White House lawn, or eat a vegetable for the first time. Breaking news, the president has ingested a piece of broccoli. We'll bring you around-the-clock coverage as we wait to see how his body reacts.